Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. It's been probably a couple of weeks, probably even closer to a couple of months since I made kind of an NXT video. If you're familiar with wrestling and WWE, every couple of weeks at least I was going to try to make a video about NXT and kind of my thoughts on where they were taking certain wrestlers and stuff like that. So that's what this video is going to be about. It won't so much be about the matches on NXT itself. It's the direct, I'll try to talk about that, but it's kind of about the direction they're taking certain wrestlers and stuff like that. And really whatever's on my mind as far as what happened on the episode. So let's talk about that. We're talking about the episode of NXT that aired on December 14th of this year. And it looks like we had a match. Let's see, Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes. What have I thought about this feud? This has been a decent feud. It's been an okay feud. I really do like Cameron Grimes a lot. I think he's way overdue for a title shot, whether it's the main NXT title, North American tag team, whatever it might be. I think the guy at least deserves a title reign. He at least deserves a title shot for the North American title that currently Carmelo Hayes holds. Definitely long overdue. Not big on Duke Hudson at all. This feud they've had him in with the hair versus hair, it's been funny. Cameron Grimes had some good spots. I'm not big on Duke Hudson. He looks kind of stupid with the wrestling gear on and the blonde hair on. They took that off, so it looks like you just see his bald head now. So I guess that's what they're going to be going with weeks moving forward. It's just him being bald. Not big on Duke Hudson, but Cameron Grimes I do like a lot. It was a pretty cool match. It had some decent spots in it with the chair and stuff like that. They were able to work around stuff like that. So for an opening match, I'd say it was pretty solid between Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes. Let's see what else we had here. We have, looks like there was a segment with Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs. Not big on these two at all. I don't know, there's just not much going for them as far as being a tag team. Maybe over time they'll grow on me, but right now they're just a couple of country, nothing we haven't seen before, a couple of country boys, a tag team. There's nothing really much going for them. They were with Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. Now, I do like Casey and Caden together a lot. I think they're a really fun tag team. I like the direction they're taking them. Probably our next tag team champions to Toxic Attraction. I definitely think they're probably number one contenders for the belt coming up next. Then we get Grayson Waller, and in my opinion, Grayson Waller is the next uncrowned NXT champion. I'm not big on, if you've watched some other videos and my live streams on Facebook and stuff like that, you'll know that I'm not big on Braun Breaker at all. He's a decent wrestler, decent talent, decent promos, but there's just not much going for him in my opinion. I think it's just the execution, the way they're taking him. But Grayson Waller is the exact opposite. I think ever since he attacked Johnny Gargano after his retirement speech and stuff like that, I think Grayson Waller, in my opinion, instead of giving the push to Breaker, give the push to Waller, give him the belt, because that's the guy, in my opinion, that's got legitimate heat behind him, a legitimate story behind him. I think Grayson Waller is the guy, in my opinion. Give the belt to him, not Braun Breaker. Right? Just my personal opinion. What else do we have here? I thought that it's kind of neat that Riddle is the Shaman. MSK, they're trying to get these tag team titles back. I thought MSK is a really cool tag team, coming back from dating back to the days of Impact Wrestling and stuff like that. Matt Riddle being the Shaman, that's what I call him, Matt Riddle, right? Never lost the first name, in my opinion. Matt Riddle being the Shaman is really cool. So we get to see him both on Monday Night Raw and Wednesday night NXT. So that's really cool. Or Tuesday night NXT, I mean. Not big on Last Legend. She hasn't wrestled yet. I don't believe she hasn't wrestled at all. The talk show thing, it's just there's a lot of these newer wrestlers that I just can't get behind because there's something about the execution. Jacket Time with Juro and Kudisha. I can't. They're a good tag team, both solid wrestlers. Couple of people, in my opinion, they threw together because they didn't have nothing else to do for them. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I understood it. They're both great talents, but probably would do better, in my opinion, as singles. The Jacket Time name, you probably could use something different. But overall, I guess they're a fun tag team, right? grizzled young veterans, according to what I'm sources looking at here. These guys, in my opinion, are being way underutilized. These are great veterans of the business. They were the first ever NXT UK Tag Team Champions, and ever since they lost those belts, in my opinion, they've been a little bit on a downward spiral. I think these two are highly underrated and definitely would like to see them back in the tag team title picture. What do we have next here? Amari Miller versus Ivy Nile. I think Ivy Nile is a cool talent. As I said earlier in my earlier videos, I'm not big on the Diamond Mine faction. I like the individual wrestlers themselves. I think they're decent talents, but the faction as a whole isn't doing much for me. That's how I feel with Ivy Nile. She seems like a cool talent, a very kind of a small stature, but very kind of broad-shouldered and muscular female. She looks like she could do great in the ring and have a great run, but the faction that she's working with, to me, is just, not to sound like a mark, but it could be better, right? What else do we have here? We have Harlan and then versus Guru Raj. This was a squash match of sorts, I guess you could call it. Not big at all on Joe Gacy. I don't understand the motivations. I don't understand the Joe Gacy character at all. I don't know if he's supposed to be a sadistic creep or if he's supposed to stand for all the different culture and the equality thing that he tries to spill out. I'm not big on Joe Gacy at all. Harlan is a character I think I could get behind, this almost Michael Myers throwing someone down the stairs thing. I think I could get behind Harlan, but Joe Gacy, I'm not quite there yet. Then we have Dakota Kai and Cora Jade. Dakota Kai is a talent that I've always liked, and I've started to like her more over time. She's another one of those ones that's long overdue for that women's title. She's probably one of the number one contenders to challenge Mandy Rose in the near future, in my opinion. And then Cora Jade, I would have to second that, another number one contender. She got the pin in War Games, so I think her title match is very soon to come. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a long shot and say Cora Jade is our next NXT Women's Champion. Maybe not, but that's the way I see that going. Cora Jade's a very cool talent. We have Andre Chase and Tony D'Angelo. I'm not big on the Chase University, the college teacher thing. That's a really terrible gimmick, should I say. Probably up there with Happy Corbin, right? If you're familiar with SmackDown and the way Baron Corbin's been taken, and Madcap Moss. Tony D'Angelo has another gimmick that can't really get behind. Decent talent, but his gimmick is just kind of So this was a match that I really could care less about. What else do we have here? Jacket Time, Grizzled Young Veterans. Like I said, I've already kind of talked about them. I think the fact that Jacket Time was able to get a pin over the Grizzled Young Veterans, didn't like that at all. It was a distraction, sort of a quick roll up. But yeah, I'm not big on stuff like that. You know, to get a pin over former NXT UK Tag Team Champs, not yet. Jacket Time's a little too new, too green, right? Then we had Braun Breaker and Roderick Strong, and in my opinion, this was probably the best match that Braun Breaker's been in. It was one of his, he had a strong showing in it. Of course, it's non-title. I think it's really interesting the way they're taking a lot of these titles, is they're getting the Cruiserweight and the North American and Ciampa, and they're taking all these people and they're putting them in matches together. So, you know, Carmelo Hayes calls himself the A champion, even though he's the North American, the mid-card champion. And you got number one contender Braun Breaker, number one contender for Ciampa's title, facing off with the Cruiserweight champion Roderick Strong. So it's kind of neat. I don't know where they're taking this, but it almost seems like maybe eventually we're going to have like a title versus title versus title kind of match. So I do like the direction they're taking a lot of these, where Carmelo Hayes is trying to get involved with Roderick Strong and Braun Breaker, and Ciampa's telling these people off, and then you got a match with number one contender and Cruiserweight champion. So it's kind of neat where they're taking some of these different people. And I believe that was our main event. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the NXT episode that aired on December 14th of this year. I felt like I've described my thoughts pretty good. I think I may have missed one thing. Looks like I missed, Boa and Idris Enof. And this is one of those ones where I don't understand the booking sometimes. Idris Enof has yet to win a match. he was introduced as kind of this young and upcoming talent with some of the vignettes and promos behind him. And then he faces off with a guy like Boa that has, so far since his individual run, is undefeated with the whole kind of new gimmick he's got going on with the face paint and stuff like that. Boa being kind of like this indestructible force. So I don't understand the booking here. You think he would have kind of like a win-win situation where you want Idris to win because he's a new upcoming talent, but you don't want Boa to lose because of the streak you've got him on. So I don't really understand the booking there. But I think Boa should have more of a squash match if you're going to have him in this, and then Idris face off against somebody else, because we haven't really seen much of what Idris can do yet. So that's kind of my opinion on that. That's my thoughts on the NXT episode, and I'll try to do these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do them every week, but I'm going to try to do them more often than I have, and maybe like once a month or something like that. Kind of give you guys a rundown of what I think of the direction NXT is being taken. I will say, if you're familiar with me and a friend of mine over on Facebook, we'll be doing our next live stream video on Facebook. Day 1 will be coming up here in just about 2 or 3 weeks as we discuss our thoughts on such as the main event of Seth Rollins, Lashley, who else do we have? Big E, and that four-way that they're going to be having for that WWE title, for Big E's title. So come and watch us over there, and hopefully you'll like it. Thanks again for watching that video by Centipede Geek, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below.